What's good, YouTube? It's boy Lethal, and today we're reacting to Ace's Wasted Potential One Piece, brought to us by Lucky Samurai. Now, Ace did die at a very young age. I'm pretty sure he was 20 when he died. So yeah, and he was very strong. He was for his age, he was really strong. Was he second or third command in the Whitebeards? I'm pretty sure he was second behind Marco. I'm pretty sure he was second. He was second command when he turned like 18 or 19. He died at 20. Look, it was probably earlier that he became second in command. You feel me? And bro, he died so young, bro. He didn't even reach his prime. Like, bro, imagine how strong he could have been, bro. But yeah, it's unfortunate. But yeah, let's stop straight into it. Also, I will leave the video link down below. Spoilers for all of One Piece. What's a piece of Ace, man?
One Piece is a very long story. Now, while this is made for some incredibly frustrating pacing issues, it's also allowed for some of the most detailed and fully realized world building in any piece of fiction ever created. And with such a large, expansive world comes hundreds and thousands of characters to populate it. At the time of this recording, there's somewhere around 1,200 characters in the world of One Piece, each inhabiting a unique species, combat ability, devil fruit, fashion sense, strengths, weaknesses, and motivation.
Now, Oda really got in his bag with the story.
Diversity with all these characters,
and we still don't know about a lot of important people, bro.
This is one of the strongest parts of this story.
But we haven't seen Shanks fight once.
However, there's one thing that pretty much every single one of these characters have in common. They don't die. And that's because death in this story is something that is taken very seriously. In fact, despite running for over 25 years, you could probably count the amount of character deaths in this series on both hands. And that number is even lower when you don't include deaths that occurred in flashbacks like with Odin or Roger. So if someone really dies in this story, like permanently, the effect that it has on both the characters and the world around them is drastic. This is the reason why Marineford is such a huge turning point in the series and why people are still impacted by it to this day. Because the aftermath of this conflict saw the deaths of not just one, but two of the most important figures in this story. These two were so impactful that their deaths became the catalyst for a completely new age in the pirating world and essentially bookended the first half of this story and the pre-time skip era. These two, of course, being the strongest man in the world, Whitebeard, and his second division commander, Ace.
Bro, I will forever say Whitebeard died in the coldest way possible, bro. How you gonna fight the entire, bro, he fought an entire army, and they still did not even bring him down to his knees and anything,
now, the death
bro.
of Whitebeard might be the most perfectly executed death sequence in any story I've ever experienced. Everything from the final message to his crew declaring the existence of the One Piece and him dying standing, along with that powerful narration in the background detailing the hundreds of gunshots, cannon fire, and sword wounds he inflicted without a single scratch on his back is beautiful. You couldn't write a more
it's kind of crazy how he didn't have a scar on his back, but there was a hole in his chest, which is kind of crazy to me.
Perfect ending to his character. So while his passing definitely holds massive emotional weight, I wouldn't necessarily consider it tragic. Because if you look at the context of how he died, he went out on his terms in a blaze of glory. He was an old man long past his prime who was sick and dying.
He was sick
Yet despite this, he almost single-handedly took out not only the entirety of the Navy and Marine forces, but one of the most dangerous pirate crews in the world with the Blackbeard Pirates. He actually succeeded in his final mission, which was to free Ace from the chains of the world government, and he went into that mission fully prepared to lay down his life to save his son. His death was so good to the point where his contemporaries like Kaido were envious that he went out in such a fashion. So while this is certainly an emotionally impactful moment, it was always one that was supposed to happen. But you can't really say the same for Ace. Because while Whitebeard passed away at the age of 72, having achieved everything that life had to offer him as a pirate, Ace was only 20, and someone whose potential was limitless. I think that if we looked at all of the young pirates during the pre-time skip era, Ace's ceiling was probably the highest, because not only did he possess one of the strongest devil fruits in the world with the Marimara no Mi, but he's one of the few characters who could use all three forms of haki. But even more importantly, he's the son of the Pirate King. When this revelation is revealed, he immediately becomes public enemy #1 to the world government, and Whitebeard does everything in his power to carry on the will of Roger and make him the next Pirate King. Sengoku even says to Ace that if he were to be left alone, he would surely gain the qualities to sit atop the throne where his father once sat. This isn't the kind of character you just kill off, and many people were confused as to why someone like Ace was given all these attributes just to be thrown away in an instant. I was one of those people for a while until I went back and rewatched Marineford. And when I saw Akainu's fist plunge into Ace's stomach again, I was even more shocked at that moment than the first time I watched it. And that's when it hit me. The real reason why Ace's death is so tragic is because in any other story, he would have been the main character. Ace embodies everything you could ask for in a strong protagonist. He's just as much of a goofy idiot as Luffy is, as we see during his time in Alabasta through his interactions with Smoker and Buggy. He's cool and charismatic, but at the same time he's noticeably brash and unwavering when his ideals are under attack. He's constantly seen going out against the orders of his crew in order to help others in need, like when he traveled to Wano in order to seek vengeance for Odin, or when someone breaks his own moral code, like when he sets off on that manhunt to kill Blackbeard after the murder of his crewmate, despite the warnings of both Whitebeard and Shanks. Ace is a very simple character with simple desires on the surface, but also one whose roots and layers run deep. And those roots stem from his father and his impact on the world. When you look at some of the great protagonists in storytelling like Luke Skywalker or Harry Potter, lineage plays a central role in that character's journey. With Luke's role of straying away from his father's path and joining the dark side, and Harry Potter being widely known as the boy who lived, showcasing the impact that his parents had on his life. You can even go back to ancient storytelling like Greek mythology and the tales of Hercules, who of course was the son of Zeus. Ace shares many of these same characteristics that a majority of these characters have. In fact, he has so much in common with them, it's actually scary. If Ace was the main character of this story, I think that he would fit perfectly.
Nah, he is definitely spitting though. If Ace was in any other show, he would definitely be the main character, bruh. He definitely does have all of these qualities that he named. Like, bro.
But One Piece is not Ace's story.
It's not.
It's Luffy's.
It's Luffy's,
every
man.
single character in this story is made to serve a role in his journey in becoming the Pirate King. And I don't think there's
and Ace's death was important to Luffy's story, in my opinion.
The single turning point in this series that impacted that journey more than Ace's passing. One of my favorite moments in Marineford is the scene where Luffy and Whitebeard meet for the first time, face to face.
Side by side.
Whitebeard is just towering over Luffy. There's even a moment where they show Whitebeard slamming down his spear and it creates a massive shockwave, compared to Luffy slamming his foot down and it barely making a sound. I love this scene because Whitebeard is said to be the closest one to reaching that role of the King of the Pirates. This is the level that Luffy is trying to reach and potentially surpass, and this scene is a perfect representation as to just how long of a way he truly has to go in order to achieve his impossible dream. In fact, that's what this entire arc is meant to show. Just how powerless Luffy truly is against the endgame threats to his throne like the Admirals and Blackbeard at this current moment in time. And that's what Ace's death served as, a wake-up call. To show Luffy and us that it's not enough to just be the chosen one. It's not enough to have all of the tools of potentially being great, because someone who is stronger will beat you. If Ace doesn't die, Luffy never learns that lesson, and he probably never becomes the Pirate King.
That's a fact.
He doesn't take the time to isolate himself on that island and train for 2 years.
It's a fact. It's so sad that he had to die, but it was so important for Luffy, though.
He doesn't become the Luffy that is capable of defeating Doflamingo, Big Mom, or Kaido. This face right here isn't just a look of anguish, but one of realization. One that says, oh shit, this really happened. It's not a game anymore. Because Luffy freed Ace, and Whitebeard was holding everyone off to give them the chance to escape. But Ace died to his own pridefulness and morals being questioned, something we've seen Luffy experience before. And it was because of that moment that Ace passed away and never got to live out his true potential. And because Ace never lived his true potential, it caused Luffy to live out his. Thanks for watching.
Nah, that was a fire video, not gonna lie to you. That was a fire video. Bruh. I wish that there's like a one shot of like what Ace could have been. You feel me? Cause bro, he died so young, bro. Really unfortunate, man. This is a fire video. It's a really fire video. Ace's wasted potential is kind of the whole point. It's part of what makes his death so tragic. Imagining the things he could have done but never will. Like, bruh. R.I.P. Ace, man. But yeah, it's a fire video. Feel me? I will leave the link down below in the description. And yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And have a blessed day. Peace.
Then she gon' pull out the tape and tie me up, then lock me away. That bitch, she said that she hate me. I am not phased. My niggas waiting at your place. For all this shit escalate, I need to know how many niggas you've played. How did you take off your tape? She looking right at me and she swerves into the lake.